Zhang Yi used Bian Zhengwu's ability to trap and kill Yuan Kongye. If this news reaches the River South domain, he will definitely face some trouble since Bian Zhengwu is a key figure in the River South domain. Zhang Yi slept soundly for 2 whole days, and upon waking, he still felt dizzy and sore in his back. After all, he is not a physically strong mutant who specializes in strength enhancements. Lasting 4 days and 3 nights against Yuan Kongye was solely due to the effects of stimulants. However, at this moment, his heart felt an unprecedented sense of relief and exhilaration. By absorbing Yuan Kongye's essence, his power had reached an unprecedented level. Though still somewhat inferior to Yuan Kongye's astonishing strength, he should now be on par with Bian Zhengwu. Zhang Yi knew he still hadn't reached the Epsilon level, but he was very close. Regardless, there was no longer anyone in Heavenly Sea City who could threaten him. Zhang Yi staggered out of his room, only to find Flower had been waiting at the door all along, seemingly worried he wouldn't wake up. Zhang Yi picked up Flower and gently stroked her. Seeing Zhang Yi emerge from the room, the women downstairs immediately showed expressions of joy. Shokir quickly looked him over with concern and asked, "Brother Zhang Yi, you're finally awake. How are you feeling now? Do you want me to check you over thoroughly?" Zhang Yi said he was fine, just tired. After resting for 2 days, he already felt much better. Liang Yu, catching a hint of subtext, couldn't help asking, "Did you finish off Yuan Kongye?" Zhang Yi shook his head, pondering. "To be exact, I didn't kill her. She died from overexerting her mental and physical strength." Hearing this, everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. As long as she was dead, that was all that mattered. Recalling the terrifying strength Yuan Kongye had displayed, the scenes where she could shatter the sky with a wave of her hand, it was beyond their understanding of mutants. Liang Yu asked the question he most wanted to know. "Did you absorb her essence?" Zhang Yi nodded, and everyone else suddenly understood. Chun Lei and Uncle Yu excitedly stood up from the sofa. "So, the boss is now invincible, right? Who would dare to mess with our lives now?" Zhang Yi raised an eyebrow, smiling. "I've just become a bit stronger." However, at this moment, Zhang Yi had a concern. Now that everyone could guess that he had killed Yuan Kongye and absorbed her essence, the River South domain would definitely not ignore such an entity. They would surely send someone to recruit me. If I go, then I'll just be a pawn at the mercy of the River South domain, always on the edge of danger to handle various crises. But if he refused them, it would mean directly offending the River South domain. If the higher-ups of the River South domain were even slightly narrow-minded, he would definitely be targeted, and there might even be a risk of being eradicated. Zhang Yi didn't dare gamble on this possibility. In other words, whether he was recruited or resisted them, he would be at a disadvantage. Now that it had come to this, he had to get control of the situation as soon as possible, within his acceptable range. Thinking this, he decided to first head to the Emerald Waterside base and confront the investigation team directly. The others also expressed a desire to go with Zhang Yi, but he simply waved his hand and refused. "You all just rest well at the shelter." Now, Zhang Yi has absolute confidence in his own strength. Even if negotiations fail, they wouldn't dare to act rashly. On the way, Zhang Yi first contacted Bailey Changqing and Xing Tian. Xing Tian naturally had no objections and was extremely enthusiastic, even somewhat ingratiating. This is understandable, as Heavenly Sea City, to put it bluntly, is his territory if Zhang Yi wishes so. Even Bailey Changqing spoke very gently to Zhang Yi, even somewhat ingratiatingly. Bailey Changqing said, "We all belong to the River South domain, and we'll have to visit Blizzard City eventually. The leaders definitely want to infuse some fresh blood since our team captain has died." After hearing this, Zhang Yi joked, "Your captain died. Shouldn't you be looking to fill a captain's position then?" Bailey Changqing's face changed at this, and he awkwardly laughed, saying, "Let's talk more when you arrive." After hanging up, Bailey Changqing frowned. The loss of Bian Zhengwu had significantly weakened their team's strength. He had also hoped that Zhang Yi would join the team to compensate for some of the loss, given Zhang Yi's abilities were well known to all. Not only is he very clever, but his strength is also formidable, especially since he absorbed Yuan Kongye's essence. If he could join the team, it might preserve their elite squad status. In Blizzard City, all living resources are allocated based on contribution. Only by maintaining the elite squad status can the team members and their families secure their livelihood. However, Zhang Yi made no secret of his ambition. Bailey Changqing went to the team members' room. Wu Di, after a few days of rest, was much better, though his hair had turned silver white. Bailey Changqing relayed Zhang Yi's thoughts to the team members. "Zhang Yi just contacted me. He means that if he were to join the investigation team, he would have to take the position of captain." Upon hearing this, Wu Di immediately expressed his dissatisfaction. "That sly villain, what right does he have to be our captain? If he comes, I'm out." Bailey Changqing explained, "It's not surprising that Zhang Yi has this idea, given he contributed the most this time, and his strength is undeniable. The only drawback is that we haven't worked together enough." Kongxing folded his arms and said, "Being a captain isn't just about strength. He's being too arrogant and unreasonable." Qi Guangming spoke up directly, "In my heart, the only person qualified to take over as captain is Uncle Bailey. No matter how strong Zhang Yi is, he still has to follow the rules." Meng Xiu and Yi Jikang did not express their opinions, just quietly watching everyone in the room. They knew that Bailey Changqing was in a difficult position. After all, all, his strength and character are both highly respected, but they also hope that Zhang Yi would join the team. Bailey Changqing smiled and waved his hand, saying, who becomes the captain is ultimately up to the higher-ups. Whether I'm the captain or not doesn't matter. The main thing is that our team needs to develop better. Zhang Yi will come over later to talk, and then we'll see his attitude. Just arrived at Emerald Waterside Base, Zhang Yi was warmly welcomed by Xing Tian. Seeing such a reception, Zhang Yi couldn't help but feel flattered. Xing Tian, realizing he was perhaps too enthusiastic, awkwardly said, old classmate, don't worry. I sent so many people to welcome you, not to start a fight. Besides, with your strength now, even if we had 10 times the courage, we wouldn't dare. He leaned in close to Zhang Yi and said jokingly, how could you bear to strike such a soft girl like Yuan Kongya? Are you stronger than Yuan Kongya was then? Zhang Yi sighed helplessly. It's not as simple as you think. Let's not talk about this. Lead me to the investigation team first. In the past, Zhang Yi didn't mind others thinking he was strong, but now it's different. Now that he's truly strong, he has to pretend he's not, because he's already attracted the attention of the River South Domain for being too powerful. As they walked, Xing Tian said, old classmate, you're now the boss of Heavenly Sea City. You've got to look out for your brothers. Xing Tian said with a smile. Zhang Yi glanced at him sideways, gave a faint smile, and did not respond, thinking to himself, expanding my power has no real benefits, except for having to manage more people and affairs, which makes me anything but comfortable. Soon, Zhang Yi arrived at the recuperation place of the investigation team. It was a room in an underground shelter, which, although not as grand as Zhang Yi's mansion, was already considered top treatment at the Emerald Waterside Base. Zhang Yi's arrival made the atmosphere among the investigation team somewhat tense. Wu Di immediately said with a displeased face, what are you doing here? Zhang Yi had never understood why Wu Di's attitude towards him was so poor. Was it because he was too handsome and Wu Di was jealous? At this moment, Zhang Yi raised his hand and said solemnly, this battle was so tough. I came to check on the injured. After all, we may have to work together in the future. If I were too indifferent, people might say I'm unsympathetic and don't care about the injured. The phrase care about the injured rendered everyone speechless, giving off the impression that he already considered himself the captain. Wu Di pointed at Zhang Yi's nose and shouted angrily, what are you so arrogant about? What right do you have to join our investigation team? Do you deserve it? Zhang Yi crossed his arms, looked down at him, and said, based on the fact that I single-handedly defeated Yuan Kongya, do you think I qualify? This statement left Wu Di speechless. If it hadn't been for Zhang Yi stepping forward to turn the tide in that situation, they would probably have all died in battle. From this perspective, they all owed Zhang Yi a huge favor, which everyone in the investigation team was well aware of. Seeing this, Zhang Yi still smiled and said, make sure to speak well of me to the higher-ups when you go back, and be sure to report my great contributions to them accurately. Saying this, Zhang Yi cleared his throat and said solemnly, I also deeply regret the death of Captain Bien. If you give me a chance, I hope to carry on his legacy, lead our investigation team to continue protecting this land, and bring a harmonious and happy life to the people of the River South Domain. These bureaucratic-sounding words made everyone uncomfortable, and their opinion of him instantly plummeted. Zhang Yi's demeanor was entirely that of a petty man gloating over his success. Bailey Changqing, maintaining a forced smile, said, I will accurately report your contributions to the higher-ups. However, about joining the investigation team, Zhang Yi, looking smug, interrupted, it's still up to the higher-ups to decide, but it's just a formality. Who else but me for the position of captain? Saying this, Zhang Yi sneakily wrapped his arm around Bailey Changqing and said, Brother Bailey, can we have a chat alone? Some things are not suitable to discuss with ordinary team members. The words ordinary team members made everyone grit their teeth, and if it weren't for considering Zhang Yi's unfathomable strength, they probably would have turned hostile and beaten him up right then. Bailey Changqing awkwardly smiled, thinking this was a good opportunity to probe Zhang Yi's attitude. Thus, he nodded and said with a smile, Brother Zhang Yi wants to talk to me alone. Of course, I'll accompany him. The two left the room, arm in arm, and went to the entertainment room. Zhang Yi directly got to the point and asked, Brother Bailey, if I become your captain, would you support me? Looking at Zhang Yi's arrogant and determined expression, Bailey Changqing's face showed subtle emotions. Bailey Changqing forced a smile and said, in this crisis, your contributions were the greatest. You don't need my support. The leadership will choose you directly. At this moment, Zhang Yi appeared in Bailey Changqing's eyes like a boastful clown. However, given Zhang Yi's undeniable strength, he could only suppress his discomfort and maintain his composure. Zhang Yi put on an expression as if no one else but him was suitable for the role and said, as long as you accurately report my significant contributions to the higher-ups, given my current strength, being the captain of your small investigation team would be more than manageable. Right, Brother Bailey? Bailey Changqing almost couldn't hold back. He took a deep breath and told Zhang Yi, I don't want to discourage you, but the River South Domain has very strict criteria for selecting captains. Although you are strong and have made significant contributions, you are still a newcomer. At this point, Bailey Changqing awkwardly scratched the back of his head and continued, of course, I'm not saying you're not fit to be captain. I just want to lower your expectations to prevent greater disappointment should your hopes be too high. Zhang Yi smiled expressionlessly and said, Brother Bailey, you really worry too much. much, but I'm still confident about being the captain of your small team." At this moment, Bailey Changqing curiously asked, "Zhang Yi, how strong are you now?" Zhang Yi answered directly, "Stronger than Bian Junwu, and without any side effects." Bailey Changqing was initially stunned, then his face showed a realization as expected. He instinctively clenched his fist but soon relaxed it. "If you've already reached the epsilon level," Bailey Changqing looked at Zhang Yi and smiled, "then there's definitely no problem with you being our captain." At that moment, Zhang Yi's expression suddenly changed, and he looked at Bailey Changqing with a meaningful smile. "So you're giving up just like that?" Zhang Yi noticed the dejected look in Bailey Changqing's eyes, but Bailey Changqing waved his hand and said, "I do aspire to be captain, but in this post-apocalyptic world, strength rules. We need a strong leader. From that perspective, you're naturally more qualified than I am. Our investigation team operates on the edge of life and death, and although everyone is an elite of the elite, in this post-apocalyptic world, no one can claim to be invincible. I've personally seen several teammates off to their deaths, and in this battle, even our strongest captain fell. So, it's okay to have ambitions for power, but they should never outweigh the collective survival of the group." Zhang Yi just smiled and said, "What if I said that the greatest credit for killing Yuan Kongya doesn't belong to me, but to your investigation team? What would you think?" Upon hearing this, Bailey Changqing's body shook, and he showed an incredulous expression, saying, "What do you mean?" Indeed, although the mission was barely completed this time, they had lost their captain Bian Junwu, and the greatest credit had been taken by Zhang Yi, which indeed had hit the squad hard. But Zhang Yi was now saying that the investigation team was the real hero. "Zhang Yi, no one would believe that. Everyone knows that Yuan Kongya was killed by you, and none of us are a match for an epsilon-level mutant." Zhang Yi said calmly, "That may be so, but I couldn't have defeated her without you guys this time. The most crucial factor this time was actually Captain Bian's contribution. It was because of the side effects of his ability that I was able to wear down Yuan Kongya. So, I hope to credit this achievement to him." Bailey Changqing was completely shocked, unable to believe his ears. The disaster in Heavenly Sea City was at least of the highest A level, and the rewards from the leadership would undoubtedly be very generous. Resources, women, housing, and genetic drugs in Blizzard City were almost within easy reach, not to mention the prestige. Yet, Zhang Yi was casually giving it all up. Bailey Changqing couldn't believe any of it. Overwhelmed by shock, he finally snapped back to reality and said to Zhang Yi, "Are you unwilling to go to Blizzard City then?" Zhang Yi said meaningfully, "It's convenient dealing with smart people." "Brother Bailey, you guessed my intentions right away." Bailey Changqing suddenly realized, "So you want to hand over the credit to us, to avoid being noticed by the higher-ups of the River South domain, right? After all, it's important to keep control in your own hands." Zhang Yi didn't want to admit it directly, so he said with a slight sneer, "Not entirely. When Captain Bian first invited me to make a name for myself in Blizzard City, I was indeed tempted. But seeing you all fighting tooth and nail, I thought about it and decided it's better not to go if possible. However, if I really were to go to Blizzard City, the position of captain would definitely be mine." This made Bailey Changqing fall into deep thought. If Zhang Yi didn't go, he had a good chance of becoming the captain, but if Zhang Yi went, there would be no chance for him to become captain, given his strength was far less than Zhang Yi's current level. Zhang Yi walked over and patted Bailey Changqing on the shoulder, saying, "I'm also very conflicted right now. Why don't you make this decision for me? It depends on whether you want to be captain or continue being the deputy." Compared to the life of fighting and killing in Blizzard City, Zhang Yi clearly preferred staying in his own shelter. He also saw through Bailey Changqing's ambition to be promoted. Bailey Changqing was indeed very tempted, as the difference in treatment between a captain and a deputy captain is significant, and there are only 6 captains in all of Blizzard City. Now that Zhang Yi was willingly giving up the opportunity, it would be false to say he wasn't moved. However, after the excitement, Bailey Changqing still said somewhat despondently, "If the false reporting is discovered, the punishment is very severe." Zhang Yi dismissively countered, "What false reporting? I never asked you to lie. First, did any of you see me kill Yuan Kongya with your own eyes? Second, do you know what level my strength has reached now?" Bailey Changqing shook his head. "We really don't. But logically speaking," Zhang Yi interrupted him before he could finish, "this doesn't need any logic. What we need is evidence. Since none of you know these things, it can't be considered false reporting." Bailey Changqing was somewhat dizzy from Zhang Yi's rhetoric and couldn't help saying, "That's true, but the mission is completed, and we must clearly explain the whole process to our superiors." Zhang Yi waved his hand grandly, saying, "I've already thought of that for you. Give the greatest credit to Captain Bian, who has already sacrificed himself." In fact, when Zhang Yi let Bian Junwu use Frost Essence, Bian had somewhat understood Zhang Yi's plan. However, given the urgency of the situation at that time, he didn't oppose it. They had no other choice. From this perspective, Zhang Yi felt a bit guilty about Bian Junwu. After all, Bian Junwu had taken on the mission while injured to secure a better life for his wife and child. Now, magnifying his credit was also a small comfort to the deceased Bian Junwu. Zhang Yi told Bailey Changqing, "Just report it to your superiors like this. Say it was under the leadership of the investigation team that all the mutants in Heavenly Sea City cooperated, leading to Yuan Kongya's abilities being overused and ultimately causing her to die from the side effects of her own abilities." This explanation explanation makes sense, right? After listening, Bailey Changqing sighed deeply. This explanation is flawless. You don't sound like a warehouse manager at all, more like someone who writes web novels, so good at making things up. Zhang Yi laughed and said, what a joke. Those who write web novels are all poor. They would have starved to death by now. Anyway, that's it. I've said my piece. It's up to you how to handle it. Bailey Changqing then understood. Zhang Yi intentionally left a bad impression on the team members to make them unwilling to accept him as the captain. Now all he had to do was mention it briefly when he got back, and they would surely agree quickly. At that moment, Zhang Yi took out a specially made handgun and said, those special bullets of yours are called origin bullet, right? Bailey Changqing immediately cut him off. Forget about the origin bullet. That's a strategically controlled resource by the district. Unless you join us, don't even think about it. Hearing this, Zhang Yi handed the handgun back. Forget it. My own future is more important. After returning the handgun, Zhang Yi headed straight for the door. Suddenly, Bailey Changqing called out to him, Zhang Yi, with your strength, are you really willing to live quietly in obscurity as an ordinary person? In these chaotic times, you could have achieved great things. Zhang Yi, without turning his head, responded, I'm not interested. The life Zhang Yi originally desired was to idle away his days, and he is thoroughly enjoying his days now. With a bunch of beautiful girls at home and no need to work, this kind of life is simply paradise. Zhang Yi left the base, and Xing Tian had been waiting for him outside. Seeing Zhang Yi come out, Xing Tian warmly greeted him. Why did you finish so quickly? Won't you stay for a meal? Zhang Yi, knowing Xing Tian's intentions, said lightly, enough, don't start with that. If something comes up in the future and it's convenient, I'll help you guys out, but only if everyone at the Emerald Waterside base listens to me. Xing Tian nodded desperately. With those words from an old classmate, I'm relieved. From now on, everyone at Emerald Waterside will follow your orders. This surprised Zhang Yi a bit, thinking, this guy is really straightforward. He doesn't even care about his authority. Willing to be my subordinate? Xing Tian continued nonchalantly, I'm just not cut out to be a leader. You're smarter than me. I'm not worried at all about following you with Emerald Waterside. On the way back, Zhang Yi couldn't help but ponder. Now that the 5 major forces of Heavenly Sea City have nearly all been wiped out and their combat strength has plummeted, the surrounding cities will definitely covet this piece of fat meat. Thinking of this, Zhang Yi sighed helplessly. Why is it so hard to live peacefully for a few days? It seems that the deterrent power of the river South Domain is still very necessary. Meanwhile, an icebreaker ship came sailing in from the vast ice sea. It had been drifting on the ocean for dozens of days, yet eerily, there was not a single person on the deck of this huge icebreaker. Inside the cabin, a woman dressed in a Heisher witch's outfit sat at a table, writing something on a scroll with a brush. Strangely, the ink was not black but blood red. A man wearing a newsboy cap kneeled beside her, asking, how's the fortune today? The witch nodded respectfully. It's suitable. It seems we will be able to land at Coastal City in just a few days. The newsboy-capped man was overjoyed, turned his head to look towards a sofa not far away. Sitting on the sofa was a burly man, bear-like in stature. The man, dressed in a black suit, was flipping through a nautical magazine. De Gonghui, how many days until we land? Asked the newsboy-cap. The man named De Gonghui, without looking up, responded flatly, 3 days. The newsboy-cap stood up, full of anticipation, and said, in 3 days, we'll land on that place called Country Hua, and then we'll write a legendary story of our own. At this time, the investigation team's mission in Heavenly Sea City had already ended. Bailey Changqing led his team back to the capital of Splendor, arriving at a massively funded super military fortress on the east side, Blizzard City. After a stringent inspection, the convoy entered through the thick metal gates. Just upon returning to the base, the staff conducted decontamination procedures on them. Soon after, a military officer dressed in a uniform and wearing gold-rimmed glasses appeared before them. She was Commander Zhu Zheng's secretary, named Lan Xinqing. Upon seeing Bailey Changqing, Lan Xinqing said, Lieutenant Colonel Bailey, please follow me. The group followed Lan Xinqing into a building where Bailey Changqing was taken to the command center, the office of the Supreme Commander, Zhu Zheng. Zhu Zheng, around 50 years old, always had a steely resolve on his face. Bailey Changqing gave Zhu Zheng a military salute, and Zhu Zheng, with his hands behind his back, nodded and said, you did well on this mission. I thought you would retreat temporarily and then let headquarters carry out a destructive strike on Heavenly Sea City. It's good this way too. At least Heavenly Sea City was preserved. Bailey Changqing said, this operation owes much to Captain Bien. If he hadn't chosen to sacrifice himself to restrain that Epsilon-level mutant, we all might have perished there. Hearing this, Zhu Zheng's expression revealed a trace of sorrow. He didn't particularly care about the city of Heavenly Sea City. The loss of a beloved general for a city that could be sacrificed indeed made him regretful. Although he knew a day like this would come for Bien Junwu, Zhu Zheng still felt grief for his sacrifice. Zhu Zheng looked at Bailey Changqing and beckoned him over, saying, this operation in Heavenly Sea City. Zhu Zheng then spoke, sit down and let's talk. Have you found any promising individuals that can be brought to headquarters for training? Bailey Changqing sat up straight in his chair, and the first person that came to mind was Zhang Yi. But according to their agreement, he could not reveal Zhang Yi's true strength to the leader before him. As his thoughts raced, he said seriously, there are indeed a few capable individuals individuals in Heavenly Sea City: Xing Tian from Emerald Waterside Base, Xiao Holian and Zhuge Qingting from Radiant Prosperity Base, Chen Jingwan from Morning Dew Base, and Zhang Yi, Lian Yu, and Yan Mi. He deliberately placed Zhang Yi's name in the middle, thinking this would not draw Zhu Zheng's attention. Unexpectedly, Zhu Zheng nodded after hearing this and said, "You've mentioned these in your reports before." Then, Zhu Zheng looked at Bailey Chongqing seriously and said, "Can you tell me more about this person named Zhang Yi?" Hearing this, Bailey Chongqing became nervous, thinking that what he feared had come to pass. Zhu Zheng had already taken notice of Zhang Yi, as the information about him was too conspicuous. Firstly, Zhang Yi was the only team member not affected during the Zombie Tide incident. There were rumors that the fall of West Mountain Base was also related to him. More importantly, during the joint operation against the Snow Worship sect, he displayed formidable combat ability, almost single-handedly defeating all the bronze-armored zombies. In the subsequent major battle, Zhang Yi used his powerful spatial defense abilities to staunchly block Yuan Kongya's assault. It can be said that without Zhang Yi's efforts, the mission in Heavenly Sea City would have certainly failed, and their lives would have likely been lost as well. With so many standout deeds, even Bailey Chongqing found it unrealistic to try to conceal them. Thinking this, he decided to leave out the final great battle and only talk about the deeds before Yuan Kongya. This was already enough to pique Zhu Zheng's interest in Zhang Yi. Bailey Chongqing looked seriously at Zhu Zheng and said, "Zhang Yi is indeed a rare talent, not only very clever but also possesses the exceedingly rare spatial abilities. If he could be recruited to our headquarters, he would certainly be among the elite." However, he quickly changed his tone, but his intentions and personality are hard to trust. Zhu Zheng's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean? Does he have a bad temperament?" Actually, the primary criterion for recruitment by the River South Domain was not capability, but absolute loyalty to the region. Bailey Chongqing knew this, so he framed his response accordingly. He continued, "Zhang Yi is very selfish, perhaps because of the harsh realities of the apocalypse, leading him to lack any sense of teamwork. In battle, he always prioritizes his personal interests, always ready to abandon his teammates and flee. Moreover, this person will stop at nothing to achieve his goals, giving the impression of having no beliefs." Saying this, even Bailey Chongqing felt he might have gone too far, as secretly slandering someone could negatively impact his own standing with the leader. So, he quickly added, "However, such a mindset is understandable in the apocalypse. He acts this way for survival." After hearing this, Zhu Zheng indeed lost much of his interest in Zhang Yi. In his eyes, Zhang Yi was merely a Delta-level mutant with a bit of cleverness. Even though he possessed the rare spatial abilities, his difficult personality made him less desirable for recruitment. Zhu Zheng couldn't help but ponder, now that Bien Junwoo had died in battle, what the next move should be. Blizzard City could not find another mutant with strength close to Bien Junwoo to replace him. Thus, Bailey Chongqing was the best candidate for captain. Although Bailey Chongqing's strength did not match that of the captains of the 6 major investigation teams, he was stronger than the average member and had significant experience and prestige within the team. Thinking this, Zhu Zheng looked up at Bailey Chongqing and said, "I am deeply saddened by the loss of Bien Junwoo, but his position cannot remain vacant. From today, you will serve as the captain of the Black Cloak Squad." Hearing this, Bailey Chongqing trembled with excitement, quickly stood up, and gave Zhu Zheng a military salute. "Thank you, Commander, for your trust. I will do my utmost to contribute all my strength to you and Blizzard City." Zhu Zheng nodded. "The official documents will be issued in the next few days. For this mission, your Black Cloak Squad will receive a group first-class merit, and Bien Junwoo will receive an individual first-class merit. His family will receive the treatment due to the kin of a martyr." Bailey Chongqing nodded excitedly. "Thank you, Commander." As Bailey Chongqing left the building, he felt elated. Although he had concealed some facts from Zhu Zheng, it was undoubtedly a happy ending for everyone. Zhang Yi wouldn't need to come to Blizzard City. Captain Bien's wife and child would no longer need to worry about their livelihood, and he himself had achieved his desire to become captain. Just as he was reveling in his joy, a cold voice suddenly came from nearby. "Should I call you Captain Bailey now, Deputy Captain Bailey?" The person was Blizzard City's Chief Science Officer, Li Shuling. She asked lazily, "Where's that thing you mentioned in your report?" Bailey Chongqing took a silver box out of his pocket and handed it to her, cautioning, "This item is very dangerous. Please handle it with care. This thing has a strong vitality. The zombie crisis in Heavenly Sea City is largely associated with it." Li Shuling raised an eyebrow. "It seems pretty ordinary." Bailey Chongqing felt a bit awkward. This object had nearly wiped out the entire Heavenly Sea City, but in Li Shuling's words, it seemed insignificant. It's no wonder, given the professor had studied many odd and bizarre things. After taking the blood vine, Li Shuling turned and headed back to the laboratory. After Bailey Chongqing left, Zhu Zheng sat in his office chair with a serious face, the gravity of the crisis in Heavenly Sea City exceeding his expectations. After all, the death of a captain-level figure was a first since the apocalypse. Zhu Zheng crossed his hands, thinking, relying solely on Blizzard City's power is hardly sufficient to maintain the stability of the River South Domain. It seems time to consolidate the strength of the entire River South Domain. Thinking this, he immediately notified his Secretary, Lan Xinqing, issue a notice in the name of the Supreme Commander of the River South Domain, targeting all forces of a certain size within the jurisdiction, informing them that in 10 days, I will hold a convention for all mutants of the River South Domain in Blizzard City. All mutants must attend. Anyone who disobeys will find themselves unnecessary. After life returned to normal, Zhang Yi had been observing one thing, the situation of Yang Mi using Frost Essence to awaken abilities. He wondered if Yuan Kongya's death would affect those awakened by Frost Essence. Time swiftly passed, and Zhang Yi continued to monitor this issue quietly. Yang Mi showed no physical changes, which meant that after Yuan Kongya's death, Frost Essence no longer had any drawbacks and had become a pure treasure. With this in mind, Zhang Yi decided to give the remaining 2 pieces of Frost Essence to those close to him. He then called over Yang Xinxin, Zhou Qi, and Lu Karen. He told them, after Yuan Kongya's death, Frost Essence is all benefit and no harm. Now there are 2 pieces of Frost Essence left. You 3 decide how to distribute them. After all, you are all very important to me, and I don't want to show favoritism. To everyone's surprise, Yang Xinxin immediately said, I don't need it. Give the opportunity to the other 2. She pointed to her head confidently and said, compared to them, you need its power more. My brain is the best ability, so I'll pass. Lu Karen couldn't help but ask, Xinxin, are you really sure about this? Yang Xinxin smiled and shook her head. Of course, I've thought it through. Don't worry about me. Go and get the abilities you want. Both Lu Karen and Zhou Qi's desire for the abilities was evident on their faces, and they were naturally very grateful for Yang Xinxin's concession. Zhang Yi didn't say much more and took out the Frost Essence, staring seriously at them. You already know how to use it. Just place it at the center of your forehead. Lu Karen and Zhou Qi took the Frost Essence, which was cool, soft, and highly elastic, almost like a living thing. They placed the Frost Essence at their foreheads, and soon it merged into their heads on its own. Afterward, Zhang Yi had them lie down on the beds, while he sat nearby, patiently observing their changes. After about 10 minutes, Lu Karen was the first to show a reaction. She was sweating profusely and breathing heavily, as if she had just run 10 kilometers. Seeing this, Zhang Yi curiously stood up and asked, did it work? Suddenly, Lu Karen opened her eyes, paused for 2 seconds, then excitedly clenched her fist and said, Brother Zhang Yi, I've successfully awakened my ability. Saying that, she picked up a spoon from the table, focused her gaze, and the spoon quickly bent. Lu Karen exclaimed excitedly, my ability is related to metal and machinery. I can control any metal that I touch. With this ability, I can create more and more powerful weapons in the future. Zhang Yi was also somewhat excited and asked, does that mean the performance of weapons you modify could be greatly enhanced? Lu Karen confidently said, of course, and it's not just weapons and equipment. Any mechanical material that comes into my hands, I can transform it into its most perfect form. Hearing this, Zhang Yi became even more excited. That's great. Your ability is exactly what we need. When you have time, enhance all of my weapons and equipment. Unable to hide her excitement, Lu Karen said, I guarantee to complete the task. By the way, Brother Zhang Yi, help me name my ability. Zhang Yi demurred, this is your own ability. It's best if you name it yourself. However, Lu Karen looked at Zhang Yi seriously and said, no, I want you to name it. My life was saved by you, brother, and you gave me this ability, so it's better if you name it. Zhang Yi understood this was her way of expressing her gratitude and loyalty. After some thought, Zhang Yi said, your ability is to manipulate machinery, so let's call it Divine Mechanism Mastery. Clearly, Lu Karen liked the name. Just then, Zhou Qi also slowly opened her eyes on the bed. Zhang Yi couldn't help but notice that Zhou Qi's skin seemed fairer and her figure fuller than before. Seeing Zhang Yi staring at her in this way, Zhou Qi's face flushed slightly and she teased, have I become prettier? Why are you looking at me like that? Zhang Yi couldn't help but nod and laugh. It does seem like you look even better, but you've always been beautiful. This bit of dog food caught Yang Xinxin and Lu Karen somewhat off guard. Zhou Qi curiously looked at the now awake Lu Karen and asked, Karan, did it work? What ability did you awaken? Lu Karen smiled and replied, Brother Zhang Yi just named my ability. It's called Divine Mechanism Mastery. Sister Qi, what's your ability? After thinking for a moment, Zhou Qi spoke, my ability can accelerate the activity of cells in the body, enabling them to rapidly repair and regenerate. And this ability can not only be used on myself, but also on others. It can be used on others? No wonder your figure seems to have improved. Your skin also looks more radiant. Yang Xinxin and Lu Karen were somewhat envious, as this kind of ability is undoubtedly something every woman would desire. Zhou Qi raised her hand and continued, these hands can also heal other people's diseases. Not only that, but they can even replace a surgical scalpel for operations on the human body. Saying this, Zhou Qi slowly walked over to Yang Xinxin. Yang Xinxin, not understanding what she intended to do, saw Zhou Qi smile and say, I want to try and see if I can cure your leg. Before Yang Xinxin could react, Zhou Qi raised her hand, glowing green, and reached towards her back. Zhou Qi's hands actually penetrated into Yang Xinxin's back, and Yang Xinxin felt something stirring inside her body, but it wasn't painful. Instead, it felt like something was being cleared away. Soon after, Zhou Qi withdrew her hands, apparently holding something. She opened her palm and said, this is what I removed from your spine, Xinxin. Now, try to see if you can stand up. Yang Xinxin Xinxin's emotions became complex. Her deepest desire had been to have healthy legs and to rid herself of her long-standing illness, enabling her to walk like a normal girl. Lu Karen also eagerly encouraged her from the side. Xinxin, try to stand up. Saying this, she reached out to support Yang Xinxin's wrist. Yang Xinxin's legs began to tremble as she exerted force, and she could clearly feel that her legs, which had been numb for years, were slowly regaining some strength. She quickly adjusted to walking, and with Lu Karen's support, Lu Karen eventually let go. Yang Xinxin felt as if she were in a dream, so excited she wanted to throw herself at Zhou Kir in gratitude. However, just as she was about to reach out, Yang Xinxin directly passed her and threw herself into Zhang Yi's arms. Zhou Kir was somewhat speechless, even thinking about stuffing the thing she had just removed back in. By now, Yang Xinxin's legs had recovered, and she burst out of the door like a dancing butterfly, eager to share her joy with everyone. Even Chun Lei, whom she usually disliked, was not forgotten. Zhang Yi stood on the second floor watching this scene, reflecting, having abilities really is convenient. To think that her chronic condition could be cured so simply. If this had happened in the past, it would definitely have been considered a medical miracle. Could this be considered a kind of species evolution? Due to the catastrophe, most life forms on planet Blue had perished, and the survivors were like sparks of fire. Because they evolved abilities, they could give rise to a stronger and superior species. And I think I've grasped the pattern of evolution. Zhou Kir and Lu Karen, hearing this, couldn't help but look at him curiously. Zhang Yi seriously added, I've always speculated that each person's ability might be related to their personality. After seeing your transformations, I've finally confirmed this. You're a doctor, so you awaken a healing ability. Lu Karen is a mechanic, so her ability is related to machinery. Does this mean that the awakened abilities are closely related to a person's existing skills and inner desires? Perhaps, the more one desires a certain power, the more closely related the awakened ability is to it. Maybe the stronger the desire, the more powerful the resulting ability. Zhou Kir pondered. It does seem to be the case. Uncle Yu awakened during a shootout. He must have wished for a more resilient body, so his ability is enhancement type. Chun Lei awakened while nearly freezing to death. He wanted to resist the cold, so he awakened an ability to withstand cold. Teacher Liang is obsessed with martial arts. She definitely wanted faster speed and greater strength. Yang Mi has been studying food recently, so her ability is related to food. Hearing this, Lu Karen couldn't help but ask, Brother Zhang Yi, then why did you awaken a spatial ability? Could it be because you were a warehouse manager? Hearing this, Zhang Yi fell into thought. He recalled what he had most desired before his death. In his previous life, he had suffered greatly from shortages of supplies, so he awakened a spatial ability after his rebirth. Thus, Zhang Yi wondered, could my rebirth itself be an ability? He rubbed his eyes and said, that's an interesting speculation. In any case, we must continue to deepen our understanding of our own abilities to fully exploit their potential. Only by doing so can we better survive in this cruel apocalypse. After speaking, Zhang Yi gestured for Lu Karen to come over. I just have something that could test your ability. Lu Karen, full of anticipation and eager to prove her worth, came over. Zhang Yi opened his subspace and took out a pitch-black bullet, saying, Karan, see if you can try replicating this origin bullet. Lu Karen carefully took the origin bullet, and the moment her fingers touched it, her brain immediately analyzed its material composition. She frowned and said to Zhang Yi, this bullet is very special, containing 12 kinds of very rare metals. Just the cost of making one is probably no less than 100,000. Zhang Yi asked, so, can you replicate it? Lu Karen confidently replied, there's no difficulty for me, but getting the materials might be a bit tricky. Hearing this, Zhang Yi happily said, materials are not a problem. I'll have Xing Tian and Xiao Honglian help look for them. As Heavenly Sea City is a top-tier city in country Hua, with plenty of universities and scientific labs, there's no worry about not finding the needed materials. Just take care of making it for me. Quickly make a list, and I'll distribute it among the powers to find them. During this downtime, we must upgrade our equipment quickly. The better our gear, the higher our chances of survival when we face danger again. After receiving the materials list from Lu Karen, Zhang Yi intentionally added other unrelated substances and then randomly divided the list into 3 parts, distributing them among 3 powers. This way, when these powers received the materials list, they couldn't tell exactly what Zhang Yi was planning. In a few days, various materials began arriving at Lu Karen's workshop. Thanks to the divine mechanism mastery ability, Lu Karen quickly succeeded in replicating the origin bullet. Zhang Yi looked at the bullet and asked, why does this look a bit different? Isn't the origin bullet black? Lu Karen proudly replied, I've improved upon the original origin bullet. To enhance its penetrative power, I added rhenium. Additionally, I incorporated heavy metal toxins inside the bullet. Once an enemy is hit, the heavy metal infection will exacerbate their injuries. Hearing this, Zhang Yi immediately withdrew his hand that was about to pick up the bullet. Added toxins. Ha, you really do know me well. Lu Karen proudly said, I knew brother Zhang Yi would like it. After all, it's just your style. Lu Karen almost said words like unscrupulous or no limits, but she eventually held them back. Zhang Yi felt a bit awkward. So, if this thing is poisonous, how should I use it? Lu Karen laughed as she explained, the toxin is stored stored inside the bullet and is only activated when the gunpowder burns. I've named it Holy Silver Bullet to distinguish it from the origin bullet and prevent anyone from realizing you've copied River South Domain's ammunition. Zhang Yi couldn't help but applaud Liu Karen, then reached out to take the Holy Silver Bullet. The moment he touched it, he indeed felt a slight discomfort, but fortunately, his spatial abilities allowed him to resist this effect. The discomfort might not have been very noticeable. While Zhang Yi was still examining the bullet, Liu Karen brought over a huge box. Seeing the length of the box, Zhang Yi excitedly exclaimed, "Don't tell me this is a new gun you've made for me?" Liu Karen smiled pleasingly. "Brother Zhang Yi, you're so clever, guessing right away what I made." Eagerly, Zhang Yi took the box and opened it. A set of dark silver weapons came into view. He immediately began handling them, enjoying the perfect weight and quality texture, almost making Zhang Yi excited enough to want to hug Liu Karen and kiss her. Liu Karen proudly said, "This is a custom set made just for you. The weapons and bullets are designed to work together. They can't be used separately." Zhang Yi quickly mastered how to use these weapons. Caught up in his excitement, he didn't forget to reward Liu Karen. "You've done so well this time. Whatever reward you want, just ask." Upon hearing this, Liu Karen's face instantly turned red. "Brother Zhang Yi, I want a set of powered armor." Without hesitation, Zhang Yi nodded. "Go ahead and make it. Whatever materials you need, just let me know." Hearing this, Liu Karen immediately became as happy as a child. Just then, Zhang Yi's phone suddenly received a message, surprisingly an email from River South Domain. Glancing at it, Zhang Yi's heart stirred. Could it be that Bailey Changqing has sold me out? Liu Karen, seeing Zhang Yi's expression suddenly turn so serious, couldn't help but ask, "What's wrong, Brother Zhang Yi?" She knew it must be something significant. Zhang Yi began to worry, as his life was getting better and he didn't want to become someone else's subordinate. He decided not to tell Liu Karen about it and then walked back to his bedroom alone, immediately dialing Bailey Changqing's number. At that time, Bailey Changqing was in Blizzard City having dinner with his son, and his face stiffened when he saw Zhang Yi's call. After all, his promotion to captain held a big secret, effectively giving Zhang Yi leverage over him. Seeing his dad's odd expression, his son asked, "What's wrong?" Bailey Changqing reassured him, "It's just work. Go find your mom." Then, Bailey Changqing walked into the bathroom alone, locked the door, and answered the call. "Captain Bailey, how have you been?" Zhang Yi's tone was slightly teasing, making Bailey Changqing even more nervous. "Thanks to you, I've become a captain. Is there something you need?" Bailey Changqing asked cautiously. Zhang Yi straightforwardly said, "What's this summons from the River South Domain all about? You better start explaining." Relieved to hear it was about this, Bailey Changqing let out a sigh of relief and explained, "It's the commander's decision. He plans to integrate all useful forces within the River South Domain." Zhang Yi's gaze sharpened, and he began to ponder more deeply. "Does this mean they plan to directly incorporate us? To reorganize everyone into a mutant force, then manage it all under the district's control?" Bailey Changqing wasn't sure either and responded, "We're not clear about that. After all, high-level decisions are not communicated to us frontline personnel. However, I think that's unlikely. The cost of supporting a mutant is not low, and once the number reaches a certain scale, it will require massive resources. Even if Blizzard City has ample supplies, it can't sustain such consumption. Food might not be an issue, but the medications required for training mutants are another matter." Hearing this, Zhang Yi curiously asked, "There's such a thing?" Bailey Changqing laughed. "Of course, the district possesses the nation's most advanced technology and the most professional means of training mutants. Otherwise, why do you think the mutants in Blizzard City are generally stronger than those from other cities?" Zhang Yi felt enlightened, but was not envious. He thought, if becoming stronger meant sacrificing freedom, then he'd rather not. After all, he was already strong enough. Zhang Yi smiled and said, "So the district wants us to obey their management but isn't willing to provide supplies, right?" Bailey Changqing shrugged. "It's not exactly like that. Mutants from outside are also a very significant force. The commander just wants to utilize this force properly to avoid internal friction that could weaken the overall strength of the River South Domain." Zhang Yi knew he couldn't avoid attending this assembly, as not going would mean opposing the district. Zhang Yi was clear that if he didn't attend, he would certainly face significant trouble. So after thinking it over, he decided to go and just needed to hide his true capabilities. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Yi immediately gathered everyone and briefly explained the situation before deciding who would attend the assembly. Liang Yu, Uncle Yu, Flower, and Chun Lei would naturally go with him, while the others stayed behind. Just then, Zhou Qi eagerly looked at Zhang Yi and said, "Brother Zhang Yi, I want to go too. It's rare that all the mutants from the River South Domain are gathering, and I'm a mutant too. Maybe I can be of some help." Zhang Yi smiled and said, "We're not going to fight. You don't need to go and add to the confusion." But Zhou Qi pouted, "The assembly will surely be a mix of all sorts. If a conflict arises, having me, your personal doctor there, wouldn't you feel more assured?" Zhang Yi indeed couldn't resist Zhou Qi's wheedling. However, Zhou Qi's request wasn't without reason. She told Zhang Yi, "With me as your personal doctor there, even if you get injured or sick, I can treat you. Although there are doctors in Blizzard City, do you really trust leaving your health in their hands? River South Domain has extremely advanced technology, and if they were to examine you, they might discover your strength and even study the specifics aspects of your abilities. Most importantly, if they obtain your genetic sample, then create a weapon tailored to counter you based on your characteristics, we would really be in danger. Hearing this, Zhang Yi's gaze deepened. Not only him, but the others also felt a chill down their spines after hearing her words. Shou Qir's argument successfully persuaded Zhang Yi, and he nodded. Then you'll come with us. Shou Qir immediately beamed like a child. Just then, Lu Karen also hurried over, volunteering, "Brother Zhang Yi, take me with you too." Zhang Yi glanced at Lu Karen and couldn't help but ruffle her hair. "Stop causing trouble. If you all come along, I won't be able to look after everyone." At that moment, Lu Karen gave Zhang Yi a reason he couldn't refuse. "Big brother, the River South domain has so many advanced weapons. Aside from the origin bullet, there must be things you can't even imagine. Just give me a chance to get close to them, and I can analyze their structure and materials. When I come back, there's a high chance I can replicate them." Hearing this, Zhang Yi immediately embraced Lu Karen excitedly, laughing. "You must go. Everyone else can stay, but not our Quran." As for the rest, they had no plans to follow. Yang Mi and Zhou Hyam-mei liked staying at home, quietly enjoying the peaceful days, and with Zhang Yi providing IT support, Yang Xinxin needed to stay at home, as she and Zhang Yi were the most familiar with the various systems. After deciding, Zhang Yi promptly replied to the message. Soon after, a further message arrived. "Please be on time at 2 p.m. on April 7th at Temple Hill Subway Station in Heron's River District, where someone will come to pick you up." This was somewhat surprising to Zhang Yi. There was actually a shuttle service provided. With 2 days left until the meeting, Zhang Yi asked everyone to prepare what they needed to bring and then started a conference call, inviting Xiao Honglian and Xing Tian. They had also responded to the meeting invitation and, like Zhang Yi, were to wait at the Temple Hill Subway Station for the shuttle. Zhang Yi couldn't help but ask, "Is there something special about this Temple Hill Subway Station? Are we really going to take the subway there?" Xiao Honglian explained. "In Country Hua, transportation is divided into 2 types, civilian and military. Some secret transit routes are not open to the public, and there happens to be a military-only train that passes through Temple Hill." Zhang Yi then understood, remarking, "It's impressive that it can still operate normally in the apocalypse." After his reflection, Zhang Yi didn't forget to remind them, "Don't bring too many people when you go, just a few elite mutants as escorts." After hanging up the phone, Zhang Yi still couldn't help but express his concern. "I hope nothing goes wrong. After all, we're pretty much going all out with our combat capability this time." When the day of the meeting arrived, Zhang Yi and his group went to the Temple Hill Subway Station. As a spatial mutant, one of the biggest benefits was not needing to carry much when traveling. Just arriving at the subway station, Zhang Yi found Xiao Honglian and Xing Tian already waiting there. Despite Zhang Yi's instructions not to bring too many people, they still had quite a few attendants with them. It seemed like each party brought no fewer than 10 people, all fully armed mutant warriors. Zhang Yi thought, if every power followed this protocol, wouldn't Blizzard City be packed with tens of thousands of people? Xiao Honglian sighed. "We had no choice. These people are almost all of our combat forces. For safety's sake, it's better to bring more people." Zhang Yi understood this. Heavenly Sea City had been through continuous turmoil since the apocalypse. Those who survived were the elites, and this was also an opportunity for Heavenly Sea City to show its strength. Zhang Yi put away his snow vehicle, ready to head into the subway. At that moment, Xiao Honglian caught up and said, "Zhang Yi, could you also store our vehicles? It's not safe to leave them here." Zhang Yi, not minding, reached out his hand and said, "Since you trust me, I'll help you out with this little favor." In a moment, several snow vehicles were stored in Zhang Yi's subspace. Just as everyone was about to enter the subway, they discovered that the entrance was covered with heavy snow. Then, Chun Lei walked forward arrogantly, stretched out his hands, and deployed his snow-blowing ability. The snow was instantly cleared away, revealing the dark subway station entrance. Uncle Yu raised his flashlight and said, "Everyone follow me." Soon after, everyone reached the subway platform, and unexpectedly, the subway was indeed still operating, with 1 hour left before departure. Xiao Honglian took the opportunity to share the intelligence she had. "I've been in touch with former colleagues and learned that the purpose of this meeting convened by the River South Domain is that Commander Zhu Jing wants to unify the management of all forces to prevent foreign invasions or biological mutations." Hearing this, Zhang Yi curiously asked, "I can understand foreign invasions, but what's this about biological mutations? What does foreign invasions mean? The entire blue planet has entered the Ice Age. Everyone is struggling to survive. Who has the energy to bother us?" Xiao Honglian explained with a smile. "Although a large-scale war is unlikely, it is said that small-scale conflicts along the borders have never ceased. Country Hua is vast and inevitably coveted by some neighboring forces. However, this is not unique to Country Hua. Some smaller nations have even been annihilated." Hearing this, Zhang Yi felt a bit of a headache and muttered, "There are too many troublemakers. We should just mind our own business. Those national affairs are not our concern. Just doing what we can manage is enough." Knowing the purpose of the meeting, everyone felt more at ease. Just then, Flower suddenly growled alertly, and everyone immediately became vigilant. From the dark subway tunnel, the sound of clickety-clack approached as a train sped towards them, piquing everyone's curiosity and nervousness. The train approached very quickly, like a high-speed rail underground. However, it was not surprising for a military train to have such speed. After all, speed is of the essence in military affairs. Once the train came to a stop, a tall woman stepped out. Zhang Yi was slightly taken aback. The train attendant was nearly 1.90 m tall, her smile bright yet somehow eerie. Lu Karen leaned over and whispered, "That's a robot." Zhang Yi then realized the train attendant bowed to everyone, politely saying, "Welcome aboard Blizzard Line 13.